Probably going to be the thumbnail.
I tried
every
to catch
time.
it off guard and it didn't work.
I
missed my opportunity.
It's all right. Next time, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, I'm really going to nail you with that thumbnail.
Can't wait to get nailed. Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Elder Elves. It's been a little bit of time. We're sorry.
A little bit. We're very apologetic.
Had technical difficulties, and we both took vacations, which is a thing that's totally fine and allowed in humanity because we deserve it.
We do. We deserve a moment to rest our brains a little.
But we had tried to get an episode out twice. We tried
at least
really
twice.
hard.
We really did. And for those that are listening at home that cannot see us, there are tears in our eyes.
Yeah.
There's a tiny teardrop. And,
I mean, I don't really cry, but I'm pretending to cry right now, and that's about as close as it comes.
I like it. So. We need some claymation, little tears.
Stop motion crying. Yeah. Be with you in 1 second.
Hold on 1 sec.
But thanks for listening, everybody. Yes. Welcome back. We're playing Tether again by Adam Baffoni. And we are, what it is a 2-person role-playing game that's story-based, where we deliver journal entries 1 week at a time. One person is in the 90s, and one person is in the nows. I'm in the nows. Miranda's in the 90s.
Sure am.
And you're playing a kiddo.
I'm playing a child, which is not that hard for me, but, you know.
It really wouldn't have been that hard for either of us.
I know, it really wouldn't have. It's the writing style, though. That's it is a little challenging, and when I read it, I kind of am reading it in that voice, I guess, but it is a little difficult to keep it in that frame. It is a good challenge, though. This game can be played you could play it really quick. You could play it in a couple hours, really, if you want to even drag it out a couple hours. It just is a matter of what you want to get out of it. In this case, we are
milking it for
collaborating it. Yeah. Yes, but also we're both writers, and we love collaborating with each other and one-upping each other or deep diving with each other. So I think that this experience has been pretty cool to see where we began and where this is taking us. And as a lot of writers know, as you go in a story, the characters kind of go where they want. The story kind of happens where it wants to happen. But you always have some kind of idea where you want to end up or want to go. And in this case, Colin and I have no idea. We're not reading the prompts in advance.
Nope.
I'm not reading his stuff right as he writes it. I'm waiting till Tuesday, like you guys. He doesn't get to see my stuff until Tuesday. And we don't learn what prompts we got until Tuesdays. So we are living in the moment, writing as we go. And it's pretty cool. It's a really cool exercise. It is.
I like it. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you can recap a little bit? It's been several weeks.
It's been a bit. Let's see if I can recap.
Okay.
All right. A journal was found by both our characters, Jordan and Charlie. Charlie's in the 90s. Jordan is living their sick, cool life back on the East Coast, taking care of their parent, their mom. Charlie's just moved to town, doesn't have any friends, moved in with her grandparents.
Yep.
when they found this book. They've stumbled upon kind of a mystery about a William Cutter and what he's done or brought to the town, perhaps. We know it's some sort of horror. So we know it's some sort of not good thing.
There's an unidentifiable terror. I believe they call it the terror.
The terror.
Horror.
The horror.
Terror.
So we have a couple weird things happen. We have Jordan overhearing stuff with the mayor. We have Charlie overhearing some things from her grandparents. We have Jordan actually experiencing some sort of event. Episode. Not quite sure what that is about on the bridge itself. And then we have Charlie actually meeting an entity in a mirror. The horror and the terror. At William Cutter's house. And that's where we actually left off, with Charlie hiding underneath the covers, trying to let Jordan know what is going on, and to be careful.
Because the entity had taken Charlie's image in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. In the mirror.
And my entry was the 4 of diamonds.
Yes. And that prompt, just in case you guys forgot, because we probably did a little bit.
I definitely did.
Oh, yeah. All right. So this is coming off the heels of what I wrote last. You experience an event that is almost exactly like the one that the other player has experienced during the game. What are the specifics? Why is this so strange or important? And now, dear Colin, let us slip into your DMs.
Ooh, why are these DMs so dirty?
Ew.
Okay. Charlie, you have no idea how much I wish you hadn't gone to that house. But you did, and we can't go back now. We can't undo that. And that's okay, because I think I have an idea. But I need you to listen to me. And I need you to trust me. If you don't, I think this might be the last time I get to write you. Now, I don't have a lot of time, so please listen. After I read your last entry, I tried to remember everything I could about that creepy house on Pulpit Hill. It was abandoned even when I lived here. My friends and I snuck in once. There were 3 of us. Angela Thompson, Greg Duplass, and me. Angela died in a car accident the next year, and Greg moved away, and I lost touch with him. Still not sure what happened to him, but we used to be best friends when we were here and when we were in the house. The 3 of us were drinking in the living room. Wow, it looks like I wrote rotting room.
Handwritten stuff, man.
Handwritten stuff. The 3 of us were drinking in the living room, laughing and telling stories. That's when the upstairs lights clicked on. We all screamed and ran. We must have been half a mile away before we looked back. And when we did, the house didn't even have a second floor. But there was definitely stairs leading somewhere inside the dead house. We all ran back to my house, screaming and freaked out. Mom was furious. Not because we had been drinking, but because we had been at the old Cutter place. I was grounded for the rest of this school year. She and I never talked about it after that, except that when she was younger, someone had been found soaking wet and drowned to death in that place. So it was beyond off limits. Mom has been sick lately. That's why I came home. And she's been getting worse. So I wasn't sure if she would remember much. She and I had always been close. We had to be, since it was just us. My dad had left when I was very young. Just gone in the middle of the night. After he and my mother had had a fight. So it had been just her and I for such a long time. When we found out she had Parkinson's 5 years ago, it was like watching those memories break and fade away. It was hard, so I stayed away longer. I regret that now. Because if I had been here, maybe what happened next never would have happened. I asked Mom about the Cutter house. For a long while, she stared off into space, like she does when the disease clouds up her mind and she can't think clearly. Then she blinked and sat her tea down and said, very calmly, "I can do better than tell you about William Cutter's house. I can show you." Then she led me upstairs, past the family pictures hanging on the wall, and into her bedroom. I asked what we were doing, and she told me about how she went to the antique store 5 years ago. It must have been right before her diagnosis. She told me how she had been walking around handwritten. Okay. She told me how she'd been walking around when she felt drawn to something in the corner of the store. And then I saw this, she said. I knew I had no choice but to buy it. That's when she pulled a blanket off of something tall set against her wall. It was a large and ornately carved standing mirror. The wood of the frame looked like it had been carved from a gray tree. The thing seemed sticky with dried blood. It was covered in carvings and symbols. I didn't recognize a lot of them, but I did recognize the swastika, the shape the Nazis used in World War II. As soon as Mom showed it to me, the room went cold. Our reflections seemed different, and my heart started beating faster. In our reflections, Mom was smiling. I was laughing with a wide mouth. I turned to her, but she wasn't smiling like in the mirror. Her fingers were dug into her eye sockets, the liquid from them now running down her cheeks. Behind where her eyes had once been, there was now only darkness. I stepped back, caught my breath, and looked back at the mirror. My mother was gone, and my reflection's eyes were now black. I must have fainted after that, because when I woke back up, it was dark all around me, except for the rectangular window in front of me, looking into what used to be my mother's room. I only had with me what was on me when I came in and when I blacked out, which thankfully included this journal. I can only hope that the magic still works here, wherever I am. Charlie, you were right. We are in trouble. And now I need your help. You have to go back, Charlie. You have to smash the mirror. Otherwise... And that's the end of the entry.
Mm-hmm. For those at home, I actually take little notes in my journal as I'm listening. If I like the highlights that I know that I'm gonna probably
touch back on,
maybe not necessarily 100%.
Yeah.
I like that it got real dark real quick. You
turned a corner.
It was already, I gave you like here's some creepy, and you're like, yes, jump in. I like it. It felt a little like I had that like occult image, like Hellboy.
Yeah.
You know how like they were or like Indiana Jones, like how they would go through and like get these artifacts or whatever.
Yep.
So it was that kind of that feel.
Yep. Yeah, well, I sort of saw that as like from where we were last week, because I think we finished off the hearts or the diamonds. What are we?
Hearts.
Yeah, we finished off the hearts and we moved on to the diamonds. So that felt like that kind of moving into like the second act or something like that, where like the stakes kind of peak up a little bit, and you sort of have to you have to amp it up a little bit, otherwise it just gets stagnant, you know. It's a little bit of same old. Because there was a good amount of like, oh, this is cute, time difference, 90s weren't they quaint, and then it was like, oh shit, there's something in the mirror, that's terrifying. And then I think after that everything's uphill.
Yeah, and I'm in the mirror, or am I? Where am I? You know, kind of thing.
And also, you know, now, because I was trying to think of like what would make this a little bit more sci-fi than just horror or like dramatic.
Right.
And I thought it'd be a cool idea to be like, okay, so you gave me this mirror thing, which was super cool and spooky. And that kind of image of the dilapidated farmhouse in New England, which is great. And I love that. So what can we do to like stack on top of that? And how do you start playing with the time changes? And how does that actually, how do you use that as a plot device to accomplish your goal? If we even get to accomplish our goal.
We may end up writing at this. This is going to be an interesting challenge for her. Well, and me writing it, but like for her, because we look at her as a person. She has to either, you know, here's this mirror. She doesn't know where it is. But you said it was in your mother's room, and I believe she knows that your dad was the gas station guy. So the question is going to be, does she go to your house?
Well, and I also left it a little, I left it a little open to kind of play with, of can this entity, is it just any reflection? Does it matter anywhere at all? Or is it that mirror? Like, is it the mirror you saw at the Cutter's house? Is it the same one? Is it a different one? Is it any reflection? Because that's also terrifying. So, and like, where's Jordan trapped?
Right. Or is it just or is it just a good way to communicate? And there's other ways it could do it too. Shadows.
Right.
I mean, reflections are pretty fun. Reflections are always creepy because you could be looking in the window and then you see a reflection and then you look and there's nothing. Reflections are always a fun horror element that I enjoy when it's utilized a lot, or utilized at all, I guess. Creepy houses, like when you think of It.
Yeah.
Like any creepy house, like has always dilapidated houses, dilapidated barns, that kind of stuff. Buildings in general that have fallen in disrepair are always like a horror setup, you know? We have horror. We have industrial buildings by us that are just completely, you know, gone pretty much. They haven't had anybody in them, and even those are great plot devices, you know. So it'll be interesting to see where we go with it. What we got. Yeah. What is the prompt that I'm going to have to write from that?
Oh, here. Do you want to do it? Let's do it.
Yeah, let's find out.
Okay.
We got 8 minutes.
We do. Yeah, we got to keep it to 29 minutes 59 seconds because it's easier to restream it.
We're learning this stuff. Okay.
Okay. Here we
go. Go ahead. He's pulling my card.
On your card.
It is a 6 of diamonds.
6 of diamonds.
All right. Oh. Something is found just outside of town. What is it? Is it something that had gone missing? Or something entirely new? Oh. Why does it shock everyone in town?
There's a few ways you could go with that.
I mean, there could be the most easiest thing, right? Jordan's outside of town.
Yep.
Just in a pile. Just smelling like booze. Wet. Like, why am I damp?
I hate it when I just end up damp.
Yeah. Just, you know, Jordan wakes up in a field. That would be a way, and then we're not actually sharing a journal anymore, right?
Right. It evolves a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe gosh.
Maybe it's William Cutter. Maybe
Cutter's come back. Cutter come back.
Cutter come back. Don't be so creepy. Cutter come back. I don't know.
But he's not dressed in a uniform anymore. Like he's basically Jesus. He's like, I'm trapped in this town, kid. Don't get trapped. Yeah, what's happening? How weird. What am I going to do?
A lot of opportunity.
Just outside of town.
And also, you know, like, I mean, you could have your own set of obstacles to overcome.
It's true.
Like, Jordan's trapped in a mirror. That doesn't necessarily mean that's your only problem.
I'm afraid of mirrors. I have to go to therapy first.
Yeah, good luck finding a therapist in the 90s.
I know, right? You're fine, kid. Go outside, run around.
No text and BetterHelp back then.
There's nothing wrong with you. You thought you had it rough? Oh my God. All the millennials are like, oh God.
That's why we're the elder elves.
That's right. Yeah, there's so many things. Do I want to add an obstacle? Do I want to insert something entirely new that's gone missing or something new? Why does it shock? All right, so has to shock everyone in town too.
I mean, could be anything.
It could be.
Or it could be literal nothing.
Santa.
Yep, Santa comes to town.
Oh my God. It's something
summer.
new. Something is found just outside of town. A new Starbucks. A Starbucks has opened up. It's the first building that's gone up. What is it? You can't be... Someone's bought the plot like right outside of town. They're like, what is it? What is the highway crew? They're like bulldozing through. They're like making a new road, and they're like, oh, we didn't know there was a town here.
Your prompt is just super practical.
They're like, hey, so you guys didn't get the notice? We're actually going to flood your town. We're going to make a new reservoir, like the Quabbin. Oh, no.
Yeah. Charlie gives up on Jordan and just goes and deals with, like, the town's infrastructure problems.
She runs for mayor, gets it.
We're leaving things the way they are. We don't want your shopping malls around here.
You know what the terror is? The terror is aging plumbing and everyone getting like poisoning. We got to fix that before it becomes an issue.
We like the iron in our pipes and in our paint. Damn it. We like the lead there.
Don't tell us we got to repaint.
That Radio Shack isn't welcome here. We got Billy Bob's Hardware.
There's a Blockbuster right outside of town. That's a new thing. Oh man, they just ran phone lines. It's like no longer the little like rotary phones. It's actually like a real dial tone now. Maybe it's even further back. There's like some lady named Peggy on the other end that's like, hold on, I'll send you over to Jeff's house. Tell him I said hi.
Hey, can I get Chester 5992? Okay. There's a lot of options, silly ones or real ones, but you can find out what Miranda picks next week on the Elder Elves, where we will stream live on Twitch and YouTube, and then the next day we'll have some video up for demand and on your podcast apps. But you can find us at the Elder Elves on social media and on TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe or follow wherever you prefer. Leave a comment if you wanna, because that'll probably help. Talk to people about us. Everybody will really like it.
Yeah, give us a shout out. Yeah. Tell us that you like us. Or
Miranda,
don't.
Where can people find you?
You can find me as Obscure Abrasion on TikTok, Insta, and on, Xbox if you want to play some games with me.
Yeah. And you can find me at colincarlton.com or at Colin Carlton VO on pretty much all the social medias, except for Twitter, which is now not Twitter anymore, and because I don't like that one. But you can find me everywhere else, including Threads, because that's a thing that's happening right in this very moment. So if you're listening in the future, it probably won't be, but it's there.
Yeah, I'm on that too now. I haven't done anything to it, but I'm on it. And Mastodon, which, no more Twitter for me either.
Thanks, everybody.